Tractors are built to last, but some rise above the rest. Through decades of dirt, sweat, and seasons, a few machines have earned a reputation for being downright unstoppable. From classic workhorses to modern engineering marvels, these are the 15 most reliable tractors of all time. Whether you're a farmer, a collector, or just love bulletproof machines, these tractors have proven they're in it for the long haul. Number 15. John Deere 4020. Back in the early 1960s, American farmers were worn out, not just from work, but from tractors that gave up too soon. Then came the John Deere 4020, and everything changed. There wasn't a big press release, just a simple green machine that started every morning, pulled like a champ, and kept going. That's what made it stand out. It didn't just do the job, it showed up year after year. And you know what made it even more reliable? It earned that trust slowly, by never letting farmers down. Under the hood was a 6.6-liter diesel engine, a workhorse with 404 cubic inches of displacement. It came with 6 cylinders, and it produced about 66 horsepower. Gasoline and LP gas options were available too, but it was the diesel that won over most folks. One of the features farmers loved was the 8-speed synchro range transmission. Smooth, simple, and dependable, it lets you shift without hassle. And when you're working long hours in the field, that kind of control matters. The hydraulic system was ahead of its time. It used a closed center design, rarely seen in that era. Strong, efficient, and most of all, reliable. The rear hitch could lift over 4,630 pounds, meaning you didn't have to worry about heavy tools or attachments slowing you down. Some models offered front wheel assist, which gave extra traction in mud and soft ground. That small addition, a total lifesaver during planting season. And if that wasn't enough, the power shift option allowed gear changes on the move. No stopping, no delays, just steady work, sunup to sundown. Its weight, about 8,819 pounds, kept it balanced on hills and stable when hauling. That stability added to its reputation. Not just powerful, but planted. But here's the thing, anyone can list specs. What makes the 4020 a legend is that it's still working today, not collecting dust, not rotting in a barn, still farming. That kind of longevity, that's real reliability. Depending on the condition, a used 4020 today goes for anywhere between $4,950 and $39,500. That's not just a price, it's a statement. Even decades later, people still want one. The John Deere 4020 proved that reliability isn't just built in a factory, it's built in the field, one season at a time. Number 14, Ford 8N. Sometimes, reliability comes in a simple red and gray package. When the Ford 8N hit the fields in 1947, it didn't make noise. It made history. It wasn't Ford's first tractor, but it was the one that stuck, and for good reason. It was affordable, easy to use, and built to last. The 4-speed transmission made it beginner-friendly. Farmers didn't need training. They just climbed on and got to work. Under the hood, it had a 2-liter 4-cylinder gasoline engine. Power at the PTO was around 27 horsepower. That was more than enough to run mowers, pull plows, or tow whatever the farm needed. But the real breakthrough was the hydraulic 3-point hitch system. It made attaching implements quicker, safer, and far less tiring. Tasks that used to take hours could now be done in minutes. That one feature changed daily life on the farm. The 8N had rear-wheel drive, manual steering, and drum brakes on both rear wheels. Its 10-gallon fuel tank meant fewer refueling breaks and more time getting work done. Best of all, it was simple. No electronics, no extra parts to fail. Just steel, gears, and good design. And even now, over 70 years later, you'll still find 8Ns working in fields across America. Not collecting dust in barns, actually working. Used models today go for around $1,500 to $5,000, depending on condition. Parts are still easy to find, and repairs are simple. That's what makes the Ford 8N not just a classic, but one of the most reliable tractors of all time. Number 13, Massey Ferguson 135. Ask any seasoned farmer what reliability means, and you'll hear stories, not specs. Stories of machines that never gave up, even when the weather did. And in those stories, one name always comes up, the Massey Ferguson 135. One good thing about it was that this tractor wasn't flashy. It didn't have electronics to fail or plastic parts to crack. What it had was guts and build quality that could survive a war zone. The 3-cylinder Perkins diesel engine, delivering 37 horsepower, became legendary for its durability, Farmers say you could run it hard for years, and it'd still start on the first try. Some even ran past 10,000 hours with just regular oil changes. No wonder mechanics call it bulletproof. Its rear lift capacity of 3,145 pounds made heavy farm work feel light, and the simple 6 forward gears with 2 reverse gears gave just the right balance of power and control. Even its clutch and gearbox were known to outlast newer models 2 or 3 times over. And here's the thing, it barely sipped fuel. With a 10-gallon tank, farmers could plow, haul, and harrow from sunrise to sundown without needing to top up. Less refueling meant more time in the field and fewer reasons to stop. Weighing just over 3,400 pounds, it struck a perfect balance, heavy enough to grip the ground, light enough to maneuver through tight spots. But what really made it dependable was its simplicity. No blinking sensors, no computer chips to fail. Just solid metal, honest mechanics, and a design so straightforward, you could practically fix it blindfolded. And that's why it never sat idle. Even after 50 years, the 135 isn't retired. It's still out there dragging trailers, cutting grass, or prepping soil. You'll find it more in fields than in farm museums. Because unlike other old machines, this one still earns its keep. Today, if you want one, expect to pay between $3,000 and $7,000. Not because it's rare, but because it's respected, because it still works. If you think these first few tractors are impressive, trust us, the best is yet to come. Hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned because there are even tougher machines still to come. Number 12, International Harvester Farmall Model H. In the late 1930s, something rolled off the line that didn't shout for attention, but quietly earned its place in history. The International Harvester Farmall Model H wasn't the biggest or the boldest, but it proved itself where it mattered most, in the field, day after day, season after season. It came with a 4-cylinder engine that delivered around 25 horsepower at the drawbar and 27 at the belt. That was just the right amount of muscle for the average mid-size farm. Strong enough to get the job done, but not so overbuilt that it became a hassle to maintain. Farmers didn't need flash. They needed something that would start on the first crank and run until the last chore was done. This was that machine. Weighing nearly 3,800 pounds, the Model H found the sweet spot between sturdy and manageable. It had 4 forward gears and 1 reverse, giving farmers options for everything from plowing and raking to cultivating and hauling. And whether you needed tight turns or better stability, you could choose between a narrow front end or a wide one. It was built to suit your land, not the other way around. But here's where it proved its reliability. The Farmall H wasn't picky about fuel. It could run on gasoline, distillate, or kerosene, whichever was most available or affordable at the time. Its fuel tank held just under 21 gallons, which meant long days in the field with fewer stops to refuel. For a machine working from sunup to sundown, that kind of endurance mattered, and farmers agreed. Between the years 1939 and 1953, more than 400,000 units were produced. That number isn't just impressive, it's proof of trust. Machines don't get built in those numbers unless they're loved and relied upon. The Farmall H wasn't a passing trend, it was a staple. What truly made it shine, though, was its simplicity. No computers, no sensors, just a strong, intelligently designed tractor that anyone with a wrench and a little patience could fix. Parts were cheap and easy to find, and breakdowns were rarely the end of the road. They were just a bump in it. And that's why, even by the mid-1960s, well over a decade after production had stopped, these machines were still out there, plowing fields and pulling loads. Even today, you'll still see them in use, not just in parades or parked at tractor shows, but working, hauling, moving hay, giving kids rides at county fairs. The Farmall Model H wasn't built for nostalgia, it was built to last. Number 11, Kubota L2501. In the early 2010s, small landowners, hobby farmers, and weekend warriors all seem to agree on one thing. If you want a tractor that's simple, strong, and sticks with you through every season, get the Kubota L2501. It didn't look fancy, but the moment you put it to work, you understood the hype. Whether you were mowing pastures, dragging brush, or leveling a driveway, it just kept going. Rain, heat, mud, didn't matter. It started without complaint and did what you asked, every single time. That's the first reason it was reliable. It showed up ready, no matter the weather. Pop the hood, and you'd find a 3-cylinder diesel engine with 97.65 cubic inches of displacement. That's just over 161 cubic inches, producing a modest but hard-working 24.8 horsepower. Not huge numbers, but the magic was in how well it used that power. It didn't waste energy, it used every bit of it to pull, lift, and haul. And it let you choose how you worked. You could get it with a simple gear drive, or a hydrostatic transmission that gave you 3 speed ranges. That HST option, smooth as butter, it made threading between trees or backing into a barn feel like playing a video game. Another reason people trusted it? It was easy on the body. No jerky starts, no clunky shifting, just smooth control, especially helpful when the job took hours. It weighed around 2,622 pounds, with 4-wheel drive and gear transmission, heavy enough for traction, but light enough not to sink in soft soil. The wheelbase was just under 63 inches, which gave it a planted feel without losing the ability to turn sharply. Top speed? A little over 11 miles per hour. Not a racer, but that wasn't the point. It was steady, safe, and always in control. Then came the fuel efficiency. The tank held 10 gallons, and thanks to that compact diesel engine, it lasted longer than you'd expect. You could easily mow for hours, or move a weekend's worth of material without needing to refuel. But here's what really sealed its reputation. It didn't need babysitting. Owners didn't have to constantly fix things or worry about surprise repairs, and when maintenance was needed, it was simple enough for most folks to do it themselves. Even today, you'll find these tractors running with thousands of hours on them. No leaks, no smoke, just that familiar low rumble and a job well done. Number 10. Case IH Magnum 8920. The Case IH Magnum 8920 earned its place on this list by proving what real reliability looks like in the field. It didn't just work hard, it worked for years without letting farmers down. Built in Racine, Wisconsin during the mid-1990s, this tractor became known for lasting performance. Farmers who bought one weren't buying just for a season, they were investing in a machine they could count on. Under the hood was a 6-cylinder turbocharged diesel engine with a displacement of 566.37 cubic inches. It delivered around 160 horsepower, enough to handle tough field work without strain. Owners often reported these engines running strong well past their expected hours. Its 18-speed partial power shift transmission meant smoother shifting under load. That wasn't just for ease of use. It helped prevent transmission wear, reduced breakdowns, and kept repair costs low, all of which made it more dependable. The fuel tank held 250 gallons, which meant fewer stops during long workdays. That added to its reliability by saving time and helping operators keep momentum in critical harvest windows. Weighing in at around 17,000 pounds, it had the traction needed for pulling power without tearing up the soil. It gripped when needed but stayed balanced. No slipping, no fuss. Many of these tractors are still running today, doing exactly what they were made to do. That kind of long life doesn't happen by accident. It's proof of solid engineering, durable parts, and a design made for the long haul. The Case IH Magnum 8920 didn't aim to impress, it aimed to last. Number 9. New Holland T7 Series. You didn't just see a T7 tractor out in the field, you counted on it being there. Why? Because it always showed up, handled the work, and kept going. When farming got tougher, more technical, and more time-sensitive, the T7 became a farmer's most dependable partner. New Holland introduced this series in the early 2010s, right when modern precision farming was starting to demand more from machines, more power, more tech, and more endurance. And the T7 delivered all three. The series offered a horsepower range from around 170 to 270, which meant you could pick exactly what matched your workload. Take the T7 200 model. It came with a 6.7 FPT turbocharged diesel engine. That's a powerhouse designed not just for strength, but for durability. It featured electronic fuel injection and a variable geometry turbocharger, meeting strict Tier 4 emissions standards, while keeping performance high and maintenance low. That's a big reason farmers trusted it. Fewer breakdowns, less downtime. And let's talk about transmissions. You could go old school with an 18-speed power shift, or go full modern with an Auto Command CVT, which stands for Continuously Variable Transmission. That meant smooth transitions, perfect speeds for every task, and better fuel efficiency over long hours. It made the tractor adapt to you, not the other way around. Comfort mattered too. The Horizon Cab was built for people who lived in their tractor, with excellent visibility, ergonomic controls, and optional comfort ride suspension. Operators didn't just last the day, they felt good doing it. Add in auto steering, ISO bus compatibility, and a touchscreen interface, And the T7 wasn't just reliable, it was smart. The hydraulic system offered serious capability, pushing up to 113 liters per minute. That meant it could handle high-demand attachments with ease, from loaders to spreaders. And the rear lift capacity, up to 9,921 pounds. That's reliability, measured in muscle. Even in transit, the T7 series didn't waste time. It could move at speeds just above 31 miles per hour. For farms with multiple fields and narrow time windows, that speed mattered. It got the work done, then moved on to the next task without hesitation. Why is the T7 series on this list? Because it proved year after year that it wasn't just built for specs, it was built to last. Farmers relied on it not just because it was strong, but because it kept going. Through long seasons, big jobs, and changing tech, the T7 earned its reputation as one of the most reliable tractors New Holland ever built. Number 8, Deutz-Fahr Agrotron 7250 TTV. You didn't just see a Deutz-Fahr 7250 TTV in the field, you remembered it. Its presence wasn't quiet. It roared, worked, and proved itself in every stretch of land it touched. Even among high-performance machines, this one made its mark. Built with the kind of German precision that's earned generations of trust, the 7250 TTV wasn't just made to perform, it was made to last. When this model arrived in the early 2010s, it didn't just show up. It announced itself. Bold lines, aggressive stance. It was a tractor that looked as tough as it worked. And the power behind that promise? A 6-cylinder Deutz TCD engine, delivering 263 horsepower. That's not just raw force, that's refined strength, controlled by smart tech to respond instantly when the work gets serious. The engine displacement stood at 372.4 cubic inches, tuned for smooth, steady output under pressure. It paired with a continuously variable transmission, which meant no shift lags, no wasted fuel, just precise control from idle to full tilt. Its rear lift capacity was nothing short of massive, 22,046 pounds. That's how you haul the heavy stuff without slowing down. And with hydraulic flow at 35 gallons per minute, it offered snappy, reliable performance for all attachments. Reliability also meant fewer stops. With a diesel tank holding over 150 liters and AdBlue tech keeping emissions clean, it worked longer, ran cleaner, and demanded less in return. Inside the cab, comfort met command. The operator's space was climate-controlled, soundproof, and fully digital. Clear screens, easy controls. It was built for long days, and it showed. The Deutz-Fahr 7250 TTV didn't just survive on reputation, it earned it season after season. When farmers talk about tractors that get the job done, this name still comes up. Reliable? More than that. It was a tractor built to be remembered. Number 7, Allis-Chalmers WD-45. Have you ever wondered what made a tractor unforgettable? What gave it staying power across generations? The answer might just be the Allis-Chalmers WD-45, built with purpose and used with pride. This tractor quickly became a favorite across American farms, and for good reason. The WD-45 was produced between 1953 and 1957. That may sound like a long time ago, and it was, yet this machine still shows up in fields, parades, and collections today. Now, that's impressive, isn't it? At its heart, the tractor ran on a 4-cylinder engine that came in different fuel types: gasoline, LP gas, or diesel. It delivered around 45 horsepower at the belt, strong enough to pull real weight, yet smooth enough for everyday chores. Imagine driving that kind of muscle without modern electronics. Wouldn't you want to try it just once? So, why is it still reliable all these years later? Simple. It was built tough, ran clean, and didn't try to do more than it needed to. The transmission had 4 forward gears and 1 reverse. Not fancy, but dependable. Anyone could learn to drive it. The powerlift system made tool handling easy, cutting down on manual effort and saving time in the field. It wasn't just about strength, it was about consistency. The rear lift capacity exceeded 2,000 pounds in some setups, so heavy attachments were no problem at all. Power-adjusted rear wheels helped maintain traction in wet, hilly, or rough terrain. That kind of control wasn't common back then, and it still holds up today. The WD-45 also ran longer than most expected. A 15-gallon fuel tank gave farmers a full day's work without stopping. The spring-cushioned seat made it bearable, even during long, hot harvests. The steering was responsive, the controls were intuitive, and everything felt built to last. This wasn't a tractor filled with gadgets or screens. It didn't flash, beep, or connect to the internet. It was honest. It was solid. It just worked, day after day, season after season. That's why so many WD-45s are still out there. not in museums, but in the field, still doing what they were built to do. So the next time you pass an old orange machine, ask yourself, is that a WD-45? Chances are, it just might be. And if it is, it's probably still running. Number 6, Oliver 1650. You know a machine means business when farmers still talk about it after decades. The Oliver 1650 didn't just do the job, it made things easier when work was tough. Back in the early 1960s, this tractor was a popular choice on American farms. It had just enough power to handle heavy tasks, but was still easy to manage. Farmers had a choice between two engines. One was gasoline-powered with 55 horsepower, and the other was a diesel version that delivered 66 horsepower. Both could handle the daily grind with ease. But it was the diesel that truly stood out. It pulled harder, lasted longer, and made fewer complaints in colder weather. That dependability is why so many farmers chose it. Its transmission added even more trust. While the base model came with a 6-speed gearbox, the optional over-under hydropower drive was a favorite. It let farmers shift on the go without stopping, saving time in the field. And in farming, time saved often meant money earned. But it wasn't just the engine or the gears. The Oliver 1650 made long days feel shorter. The seat was soft, the levers were placed just right, and the wide view made it easier to spot rows, furrows, or a neighbor passing by. Comfort isn't just about ease. It's about lasting through a 12-hour day without quitting. And this machine helped you do just that. Its strength came through in the rear lift. It could handle over 3,500 pounds with confidence. Whether it was a heavy plow or a bulky sprayer, the tractor never hesitated. That meant fewer breakdowns, fewer delays, and more time getting things done. It also featured a live PTO system, meaning tools like balers or mowers could run while the tractor stayed still. That flexibility made all the difference when switching between tasks, and it reduced wear and tear on the machine. The wheelbase measured around 96 inches, giving it a perfect middle ground between stability and agility. It turned when you needed it to, but held firm on rough ground. That kind of balance doesn't just make a tractor easy to drive, it makes it safer. And let's talk about staying power. The fuel tank held 22 gallons, enough to keep running through long shifts. The front tires were usually 6.5 by 16 inches, with rear tires at 15.5 by 38 inches, giving it steady grip through muddy patches and loose soil alike. What truly makes the Oliver 1650 stand out today is this: many of them are still running. Some have been passed down generations. Others are still used in fields every harvest season. That kind of longevity doesn't come from luck. It comes from smart design, strong parts, and a machine built to be dependable. Even now, collectors and farmers hunt for these workhorses. Depending on condition, you might find one for anywhere between $3,000 and $7,000, though restored models fetch more. In the world of farming, reliability is gold, and Oliver 1650 delivered that season after season. Number 5, Zetor 5211. If you spent time on a farm in the 1980s or early 90s, chances are you saw a Zetor 5211 in action. Built in Czechoslovakia, this tractor earned its place as a farmer's favorite, not because of its design, but because of its precision. It was powered by a 3-cylinder diesel engine with a displacement of 164.7 cubic inches, delivering about 45.9 horsepower at 2,200 revolutions per minute. Its power takeoff provided 42.5 horsepower, enough to run tools like balers, mowers, and sprayers with ease. Why was it considered reliable? Because it didn't try to be complicated. It had 10 forward gears and 2 reverse gears, giving farmers precise control without the need for electronics. The mechanical rear differential lock helped it stay steady on soft or uneven terrain. It was 2-wheel drive, but built tough enough to pull more than its size suggested. The operator's station was simple, with an open design offering full visibility. Controls were placed where you'd expect them, easy to reach and understand. If something broke, most farmers could fix it themselves. Parts were cheap and widely available, reducing downtime to almost nothing. Farmers didn't have to baby this tractor. It started in cold weather, handled long days without issue, and took a beating without quitting. It was built for real work, not showroom displays. Even decades later, many of these machines are still running. That kind of longevity doesn't come from luck. It comes from good engineering, straightforward design, and a focus on what matters, getting the job done without fuss. Number 4, Lamborghini R 6.165. What if your tractor felt more like a beast than a machine? What if raw power, smooth control, and comfort came together in one dependable workhorse? That's the Lamborghini R6 165. It isn't just built to impress, it's built to endure. This tractor delivers 165 horsepower from a strong 6-cylinder diesel engine with a displacement of nearly 6 liters. That means it's ready for tough jobs, whether it's breaking hard soil, climbing steep hills, or carrying large equipment. But what really sets it apart is its pulling strength. With a peak torque of 560 pound-feet, it keeps moving when other machines might stall. It doesn't slow down. It digs in and finishes what it starts. You also get flexibility with its fully synchronized transmission, offering 18 forward and 18 reverse gears. Whether you need to move slow and steady or shift up and cruise, it gives you full control. Its top speed reaches 25 miles per hour, which makes it fast enough to save time when moving between fields or heading back to the barn. The fuel tank holds 47.5 gallons, which means fewer refueling stops on long days. The enclosed cabin is built with comfort in mind. Air conditioning, suspension seats, and controls placed right where you need them. Long hours don't feel so long here. When it comes to lifting, the rear linkage can raise over 13,228 pounds. That's serious muscle, moving serious weight. The Lamborghini R6 165 is proof that you can have power, reliability, and comfort all in one machine. Number 3. Fendt 724 Vario. The Fendt 724 Vario isn't just a tractor, it's a promise of reliability. Built in Germany, it combines brains, brawn, and comfort in one of the most trusted machines on the market. At its core is a 6-cylinder Deutz engine with a 6.06-liter displacement, delivering 246 horsepower. That's enough to handle everything from plowing tough ground to powering large balers, all without breaking a sweat. Even under stress, the engine keeps cool and consistent. What sets this tractor apart is its continuously variable transmission. It eliminates shifting by adjusting speeds automatically. That not only makes driving smoother, but also boosts fuel efficiency, something every farmer values during long days in the field. Reliability also comes from versatility, with a rear PTO that supports both 540 and 1,000 RPM, and a hydraulic flow of 41 gallons per minute. It powers a wide range of implements with ease. From front loaders to heavy seaters, it stays strong under pressure. Need lifting strength? The rear hitch can raise over 21,000 pounds, giving you the freedom to use large attachments without worrying about strain or stability. Step inside the cab, and you'll find comfort and tech working together. A soft seat, quiet interior, intuitive controls, and a smart digital display make long hours feel shorter. Everything is designed with the operator in mind. Used models may cost between $170,000 and $200,000. But with the Fendt 724, you're not just buying a tractor, you're buying years of dependable performance backed by German precision. Number 2, Mahindra 265D iXP Plus. When reliability matters more than fancy features, the Mahindra 265 DiXP Plus delivers. It is a simple and sturdy machine, built to work every day without fail. At the heart of this tractor is a 3-cylinder diesel engine that produces 33 horsepower at 2,000 revolutions per minute. Thanks to its extra long stroke design, it maintains strong pulling power even under pressure. That consistent torque makes it dependable in tough farming conditions. Its fuel tank holds 14.52 gallons, allowing farmers to work longer hours without frequent refueling. It can lift 3,307 pounds using hydraulics, making it ideal for plowing, seeding, and transporting loads. It includes multi-disc oil-immersed brakes, which provide smooth and reliable stopping, even under full load. Steering is also easy, with an option between manual steering or dual-acting power steering. The tire setup includes 6.0 by 16 at the front and 12.4 by 28 or 13.6 by 28 at the rear. These provide solid grip and reduce slippage in different soil types. One of the most important reasons farmers trust this machine is its unmatched warranty of 6 years. This kind of long-term backing reflects Mahindra's confidence in its durability. Farmers call it reliable because it avoids unnecessary complications. No sensitive electronics, no frequent breakdowns, just solid performance, easy repairs, and parts that are available across the country. The Mahindra 265 DiXP Plus keeps working season after season. Number 1, Yanmar YM 2610. Back in the 1980s, many farmers needed a small tractor that could handle everyday work without breaking down. That's where the Yanmar YM 2610 came in. It quickly earned a reputation as a tough, long-lasting machine that just kept going. It had a 3-cylinder diesel engine with a displacement of 67 cubic inches. It delivered about 23 horsepower at the drawbar, which was more than enough for chores like pulling small plows, hauling carts, or running a front loader. The transmission gave you 6 forward and 2 reverse gears, letting you adjust speeds based on the task, slow for tilling, faster for getting across the field. Its rear lift capacity was around 772 pounds, strong enough to handle attachments like rotary tillers or brush mowers. The live PTO spun at 540 revolutions per minute, which let you run tools like mowers or sprayers, even while the tractor stood still. The fuel tank held 3.43 gallons, and because it was diesel-powered, it used fuel slowly. You could work for hours on a single fill. Its front tires were 7.50 by 16 inches, and the rear tires were 12.40 by 28 inches, giving it solid traction on mud or grass. Now, here's why it became one of the most reliable tractors ever built. It was simple to maintain with easy-to-find parts. It didn't have too many electronics to fail. It handled all kinds of jobs without fuss. Even today, you'll find these tractors running on small farms, hobby plots, and orchards. People still buy them used for as low as $2,000 or up to $4,500, depending on the condition. And they keep running for decades with just regular care. When a machine works well, lasts long, and doesn't cost much to fix, that's reliability. That's why the Yanmar YM2610 earns the top spot. These tractors weren't just machines, they were milestones. Some worked in silence, some roared through the fields, but none of them were built to sit still. So, which one pulled the hardest at your heartstrings? Tell us in the comments. Give us a like if you felt the torque, and subscribe for more.